All right, guys, welcome back to the Everything College Football Podcast. Today we're going to be looking at 5 potential transfer destinations for Spencer Rattler. He has not yet made a decision on his future. Personally, I would like to see him finish out the rest of the year with the Sooners, be a good teammate, and be there for whatever run they make with Caleb Williams. He could also be there for special spots, maybe fill in relief. There's certainly a role still at Oklahoma for him. I wouldn't even be mad if he stayed next year at Oklahoma and played it back up, kind of in like a Jalen Hurts role, and then he decides to make a move. I think the NFL after the season would probably be the worst decision for him because I think NFL scouts would not like to see him instantly dip as soon as he gets benched. And he still has a lot of progress to make. Even if he was to declare, I think he has so much potential, he would still be, a top 60 pick. But I don't think that's the best case scenario for him if he does intend on transferring, which it's very likely. Just when is the timing going to be is the real question. His biggest problem this year has been holding the ball too long, taking sacks, not able to really read defenses. That's okay, though. Patrick Mahomes, remember a couple years ago, after he won the MVP, he said, I still didn't know how to read defenses at the time. So it's not a big problem, It takes time to do that. Even he has sky-high potential. He just has to be committed to doing the work. He needs to be in the right situation, too. Maybe it's time you look at Joe Burrow, for example, new situation, changed his life forever. So there's no knock on him if he transfers. These are 5 destinations that I think could definitely benefit him. Number 1, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Yes, I know what you're saying, rival school. But look, Spencer's already lost tremendous respect, and if he ends up at another school in 2020, it's going to come with even more backlash. And I think there might be some bad blood. Even if the exit is his fault, he's bad playing is why he ended up on the bench. So even if he exits on good terms, we all know there's still going to be a fire inside. And there isn't any better feeling than proving the doubters wrong. And what better way to do it than go to your crosstown rival and Oklahoma State? The Cowboys' offense is completely taken a nosedive since Mason Rudolph left. Spencer Sanders has not been great as a downfield passer. It's not been the same offense. It's a new form of Mike Gundy, a new form from Mike Gundy, that is. These guys typically throw it around the yard and with precision, too. The Cowboys have they've made up for it, though, with a tough defense, a strong running game. They continue to reload on a yearly basis in the backfield. This defense is really good, too. They just lack consistency at times, but it's no slouch of a unit. Recruiting's never been great for Oklahoma State, but good ball players always end up in Stillwater. I have no doubt that Rattler would have a supporting cast that could deliver. Stillwater also seems like a good fit for Rattler. And once more, that opportunity to beat his former school would be the ultimate satisfaction. I really could see Oklahoma State coming into play for Rattler's services. Arizona State, the Sun Devils, Rattler seems to have an ego problem. I'm not around the kid on a daily basis, so that could be totally false, but the way he carries himself, it's essentially the same. He doesn't seem to have... He carries himself with confidence, but not exactly like he has satisfaction of being a good player. He's not putting it together on the field. He doesn't carry himself in an appealing tune, I guess I'm trying to say. Herm Edwards would unequivocally help squash that self-image. He would definitely help him develop as a young man. Rattler is also from Phoenix, so the Sun Devils will put him back in his home state. Arizona State, they're currently a contender in the Pac-12. I don't think that's going to go away overnight. So if Rattler shows up there next season, it's kind of contingent on what Jaden Daniels does as well, though. He fits this pro-style system. I think it gives him an opportunity to grow in the pocket. It also allows him to make plays with his legs outside of it. That's really what he's best at. Arizona State with Herm Edwards. I think this would be a nice little fit. You come back home, play for a good coach, a good system. Could be a nice fit for Spencer. Ole Miss would probably be the favorite. Matt Corral wasn't very good as a freshman at Ole Miss back in 2019. Flash forward 2 seasons later, he's a perennial Heisman contender. I've seen him slotted top 10 on multiple draft boards. Depends what website you look at. I've seen it on a few, so obviously he's making some noise in the draft circles. Corral has progressed immensely at reading defenses. That happens to be Spencer's biggest flaw at the moment. You look at what he in his freshman year to last season to now, the progress is immense. It's very impressive what he's been able to do. Lane Kiffin has been developing quarterbacks like it's a chore his entire career. Offensive mastermind. Spencer would be in a system that allows him to throw with a decent amount of volume, while it would also give him a platform to show off his arm talent. You see, Corral makes a lot of good throws, and they're just wowing. They're impressive. It's not just the system. It's the talent the quarterback has, too. Rattler would have the same opportunity. The Rebels, they can certainly compete with the offense they field. The potential Rattler has. There's no reason they can't at least compete for the SEC West. Because they're starting to win games. They're making slight progress on defense. I don't think that's going to I don't think they're going to degress anytime soon. I don't know. Could be wrong. That's not really the focal point today. All we know is this offensive system would work perfectly. Lane Kiffin would get him likely playing at a high level. Would it take more than one season? Potentially, but Rattler, I think if he can sit back, analyze his future with an open mind, and realize that take as long as he needs to fix his issues, that's going to be best for his long-term future. So if it takes 1 or 2 years at Ole Miss, so be it. It'd be great for him to do that. One offensive guru to another one, Josh Heupel. He's doing an impressive job with Tennessee. They've been far better this year than a bottom-of-the-barrel team, like most anticipated. Heupel's offensive prowess is already rubbing off on the Tennessee football team, and this is fresh off numerous departures after the firing of Jeremy Pruitt. On both sides of the ball, they lost a lot of people, a lot of guys. Tennessee, they also have some of the most loyal fans in college football. They would welcome Rattler with open arms. The former UCF quarterback, or head coach that is, he's a bit of a star in his own right when it comes to developing quarterbacks. We're already seeing that with Hendon Hooker, seeing what he did with Dylan Gabriel. Landry Jones a couple years ago, Oklahoma. We got the final one. This is kind of a long shot. Spencer Rattler going to UCLA. Could have happened? Maybe. He isn't an ideal fit for the spread option offense, but he also has respectable mobility. No, it's not like Caleb Williams, but it's respectable. It's not bad. Could be an asset for this team. Rattler's best at making plays out of the pocket, like we mentioned earlier. The Bruins, they would have no issues in terms of designing plays that allow them to thrive. UCLA, they've made some vast improvements under Chip Kelly. They are competitive. LA is also an incredibly desirable destination. I do think that could work out of his favor, though. Being in Southern California, he needs to be sharp when it comes to focus. It's hard to do that in a place like LA. Another reason, quarterback coach Ryan Gunderson, he's only been coaching for a short period of time. He took nearly a decade off from 2009 to 2016. He was working in administrative stuff at the college level. He was a graduate assistant for a year at Oregon State, and in 2017 joined Chip Kelly's staff. So I don't think this is likely the best fit for his future compared to like Tennessee or an Ole Miss. But the Bruins, the Bruins have desirable qualities. I do think overall it could be a bad fit, but there is some limited upside to playing for Chip Kelly. Playing in a big market where he could definitely show off what he does. I don't think the market really matters, so you can kind of throw that out of the equation. But there is some upside, recruiting pretty solidly. They're getting some nice athletes on the field. And again, UCLA, they're competitive. That's going to be it for this episode. Make sure you leave a comment where you think Spencer would go if he ends up pulling the trigger. What are some candidates you think of? I just kind of quickly put 5 together. Didn't do an immense amount of research. This is personally what I think would probably be the best for him. I'd be kind of shocked if he decided to transfer and it wasn't one of these 5 guys. Who do you think in the comments stands out? Subscribe. See you next time.